Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. 115,150 for Bitcoin. Big pump to 116. Can we keep it going? Let's go. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you. Bitcoin with a big pump last night to 116,000. Asia was busy. Things were cooking. Let's take that music back and start running it up. Shout out to my beautiful people. Critical times here for Bitcoin, right? 114,007. We saw a head and shoulder on the 5-minute time frame. It is beginning to play out. Let's put the lemon in the water. I haven't been doing this, I think, in way too long, ever since the summer started. So let's get back to the lemon water. Let's put the lemon water. Let's get the labradorite pumping, baby. Let's get back to brass tacks. I got my rose labradorite that I keep in the pocket. Keep it up here. We'll keep it up here, huh? Shout out to everybody here. Let's take a big sip of the water. Let's go. Let's stay motivated. Let's keep pushing. No days off. We won that. We made boatloads of money this weekend. The bot sold and got out, which was so awesome after that. I mean, it bought the bottom and it got out at the top. What a beautiful move. So shout out to all of you. We're going to break it down for you and show you all the awesome gains that were had this weekend. We're going to teach you how we did it, and then we're going to break down the week. I didn't think we were going to start Monday talking about Sunday's gains, but hey, you never know what's going to happen in this crypto market. Let's take a sip of the water. I'm so excited I can barely drink. And shout out to all you beautiful people out there. Thank you for being a part of something bigger than yourself. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let the world know that you are a crypto lifer. All right? Crypto is life, baby. Shout out to the whole team. Shout out to Sean, Lakochi, Jamie, my wife, the editors too, that are banging it out there every single day. We appreciate all the awesome effort for the channel. As we continue to grow past 100,000 subscribers, 15 million views on the channel. We hit a beautiful milestone. 15 million views on the channel. First thing we're going to look at is BOOKMAP. We're going to bring that music down a little bit too. It's a little loud there. First we're going to do is look at BOOKMAP. Shout out to all the beautiful people out here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in and giving us your most precious asset, which is your time. Your time, right? We always talk about this. You can get your money back. You can never get your time back. Once you've dedicated your time to something, that's what you've dedicated your time to. I'm halfway through my life. I picked trading. It is what it is. I'm destined to become a trader, a known trader, a big-time trader, to make billions in this world. I'm just getting started at 42. I'll be 62. I'll be the next Peter Brandt. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Look out to the greats, the big traders out there, the Mike Novogratz, the titans of the game. Shout out to all the people out there that are hanging out with me. I appreciate you today. Let's take a look at BTC and see what's happening in the charts. Right off the bat, I did see a head and shoulder on the 5-minute time frame. Looked like it was bearish. It fell below the 200, went up, went down, went up, went down. I told my students and people in my trading group that I would not be opening up a trade. We pumped it last night and made gains. I sold it to this first pump, went sideways and pumped for more. I passed out at 12:30 watching it. I wanted to watch it all night, and I had a feeling it was going to run up till 3:15 in the morning, where it hit the high Eastern Daylight Savings Time at 116,000. Let's see what the high was on that 5-minute candle. And it was 116,400 even on Binance. I love how Binance loves to hit the even numbers there on the spot. So yeah, it does look a little bearish, right? That's a head and shoulder pattern. If you're new to trading, we trade patterns. Patterns tell you what's likely going to happen. We use other things. We use the VRVP. We use the stochastics RSI to tell us when we're in and when we're about to get a move or about to get extended through a move. We use the moving averages to tell us when they're tight and close, that there's likely an explosive move coming. See how tight these moving averages got? That told you something was brewing. Getting above the moving averages is a key move too. You got above the whole bunch. Every time you get a bunch of moving averages, you're going to pump. Then you come back to the 21, pump back to the 21, pump back to the 21, pump back to the 21. It's amazing. Pump, and then you lose the 21, you come back to the 200. It's a simple way to trade. It happens on every asset in the world. We gave you Palantir on BTCC. It is ripping up 85% gains. I gave this trade on, I think, Friday or Thursday of last week. I said this would be the first time ever. I showed you how you could trade all sorts of assets on BTCC, so you don't have to switch to your stock portfolio. You could just get it in right here from Bitcoin to Palantir and back and forth. And you can't do that really anywhere else. This is the benefit of BTCC, one of the oldest exchanges in the game. Hit the QR code to find out more. At least have it as a backup, man, so you can trade stocks whenever you want. And think about it. Other places, you got to send the money to the bank to this and that. It takes an hour. It takes days clearing it. This, you can get into that stock literally in 5 seconds. You know, not 5 seconds, but, you know, a few minutes of sending Tether, and you're ready to rock. I mean, it's just, and this is the future. Everything's going to be tokenized. We're going to be able to move money around like this. You're going to be able to get in and out of a stock in 2 seconds. Stock markets will be 24/7. This is how the stock market's going to be. Isn't that crazy? This janky beginning stages of crypto right now, which I shouldn't call janky. I love BTCC. It's a great exchange. I'm just saying these are the beginning stages of our infrastructure. Like, it will be, you know what I mean, 10 years from now, things will have changed. And this is it. And right now, if you're trading stocks and you got 2 different stocks, or say you have a Toronto Stock Exchange portfolio, or in New York, and you got to move money from, if you got to move money from your bank to your Toronto Stock Exchange portfolio, that's days, man. That's taking days. That's not something that's going to take overnight. That's going to take days. The SWIFT system is still 3 days. It takes about 3 days, or I mean, maybe you could, you could run to your bank at 10 that morning and then you could send a wire. And I guess it could be there by 4 in the afternoon. All right, fine. It might take a day. It might take 12 hours. But still, you got to get the funds. You got to go over something. You have to call a company. You have to send a wire. You have to go. I used to have to go in person to send a wire. You know what I mean? I had to waste my time, hours of my day. Completely inconvenient, even if it took 10. And then I still didn't know where the money was. In SWIFT, they're like, oh, we sent the money, but it's going to be there when. And you're like, when? Well, when it gets there. And you're like, but when? They're like, oh, when it gets there, it'll be there when it gets there. And you're like, I can't see it on the blockchain. Can I watch it move? Is there confirmations? Can I get a transaction ID with that? No. We sent it. Don't you worry. We hope you sent everything correct. Right? So, bang. Right? So that's, 77.5% on the move there. So just, and this morning, the 5-minute told us not to be longing the market, told us there was some, and when you struggle at the 200, once you lose the 200, you're likely going to fall. And then we just take the measured move with a head and shoulder pattern, suggest you go down to 113,775. Again, we're going to break down all the ups and downs here for Bitcoin. We're going to have some fun, do a top-down analysis. We're going to look out for the week ahead. We also have Fed rate cut coming on Wednesday, which is, there's still going to be that market anticipation. And remember, whenever the 4-hour pumps hard away from the 21-day moving average, whenever the daily gets away from the 21, you're coming back to the 21. You're not going to stay that far for the 21 for too long. See this pump here? Back to the 21. See this pump here? Back to the 21. See this pump? Sideways to the 21. Pump here, back to the 21. I will show you every pump the daily ever made in its life. Okay? Like, let's watch how it happens. So you're sitting there, you're watching, you're all excited. Bitcoin's about to do damage. I don't know if you remember this, and again, I trade like a bot, but I called this a cup and handle, if you remember. I saw the shoulder, had right shoulder. Previous support became resistance right there. It was so simple. It was an SR flip, like that resistance, and then we bounced. It was a double bottom. You see it? Looks just like the weekly right now. Very similar. It had a measured move up here. You see how much bullish confluence there is here? So it was obvious that was going to pump. The stochastics were low and turning up. The MACD was about to cross. The RSI wanted to hit the yellow line. And why are we here and not in the future right now? I'm just teaching you something. Just bear with me here. Let the mind absorb. Let the mind absorb. Let the mind absorb. So here we knew there was likely going to be a move here to the upside for Bitcoin based on the moving averages. Look how tight they were. Once you cross that 200, there was going to be an explosive pump to the upside. And watch, once it pumps, all right, look, we're going to gap away for the 21. Watch this. And we're going to hit a resistance. Smart traders are going to be taking profits here at 68,000. People that are swing trading big money. It's a perfect place to trade. Look, you're now away for the 21. You've pumped over the 200. This is great, but you got to come back to the 21-day moving average. It's got to touch some way. You might pump a little more. Like, here's the deal. At this stage, all right, and this is where I sell all the time. And at this stage, you have to say, okay, there's 3 scenarios for Bitcoin. 1, we continue to pump to the upside out of nowhere. All right, boom, boom, boom. Anyway, so we take a look at this, and I should know that you're always on, even better than I am, man. So we take a look here, the 200 moving average, the 21. I love this, right? Let's take a look, and let's break it down. So right now, we have a resistance here at 66,000. You know, I'm just showing you, if we were to be here in real time, we're in back, But so this is, and so what would happen here? You have 3 scenarios. 1, you just keep pumping out of nowhere. When you're this far for the 21, those odds are very low. When the stochastics start curving up, those odds are very low. So once you have distance from the 21, a beautiful pump too that made you feel like you want to tell everyone. This pump would make you want to tell everyone how great you were. I got it here and I'm up here. If you feel like telling everyone how great you are, if you want to show your trades off to your wife, even my daughter, she's 10 now. I'm like, look, daddy's up $2,000, baby. You know what I mean? And Bitcoin's dumping because I told you it was likely going to dump. And you can see the measured move. And this is just pattern trading 101. It's Monday. There's a VRVP here. You can see the gap. We pumped in the weekend. A weekend pump usually means a Monday dump or some type of retrace. You don't pump till 3, 4 in the morning all weekend long, And look, isn't this not a descending triangle? Look at that. And doesn't this resemble an Adam and Eve? A slanted Adam and Eve? Right? So do you see? And then the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. It all comes into play. And then didn't you not lose this POC? The point of control? Isn't the point of control a great place to put your stop loss if you would like to short the market? Remember, if you lose a POC and a 200 moving average, it's a high probability trade on a flag. Switch it upside down. If you gain a POC and gain a 200 moving average, it's a high probability swing trade to the upside. I am not a financial advisor. I'm someone who just shows you probabilities based off of years of trading. All right. This could easily bounce up and start pumping to nowhere. It could dump all the way down to 110. It could pump to 120 today. Anything could happen. You have to understand that. There's obviously high probabilities that that control the parameters, but anything could happen. All right. So here we are, and so when you're at this stage, you're either going to bounce back to the 21, make a beautiful sideways flag that's going to be really bullish, or you're going to dump back hard, right? They're going to dump you back hard. So there's 3 scenarios. You pump out of nowhere, you go sideways in a bit of a flag, ascending triangle, something in here that goes nicely sideways. It could be a bull flat, right? Or, one of these 3, all pretty much the same to me because the 21 comes in. You can't pump till the 21 comes no matter what the flag is or what it is. Or you dump back quickly. And you give it all back. Like this one gave it all back. This one gave it all back. All the last few ones have given it all back. But like this one didn't. See, this one pumped and went sideways. So here you would have sat here and said, okay, we got to get back to the 21. That's when I'm going to trade it. I don't know if we're going to dump all the way back to resistance. I don't know if we're going to go sideways. And there's that small chance that you continue to pump. The continue to pump chance is very small. And it's unlikely, you see? Anyway, so you play this out and you see what happens is you come back to the 21, you made the sideways flag, and then you rip to the upside, all right? And let me delete everything here just so I can show you. Then we're going to get back to the future. Isn't that interesting? We're going to get back to the future. Oh, but we do. We have to get in, like it's happening now. Like that's the future, or it's the present, but it's going to be the future in a second. And look, when you touch the 21, the stochastics reset. That's when I'm executing. And then you take the measured move of the base here. And look, that's kind of, you wick pretty dang close. So that's the scenario that I play over and over again. Like I basically have found that structure and attack it day in and day out. Do you want to exit replay mode? Of course I do. I don't want to be in replay mode all day long. Okay, so here we are. Somewhat similar of a structure. Closer to the 21, though, not as far. It's not like we've pumped away from the 21. We're actually pretty close to it. That's a great sign. That suggests that we could actually continue to pump here. This could curve up. And then here is where we could come meet up with the 21. You see? So it tells me that the daily has some legs. We're close enough for a pump. So now I can kind of check the daily off and say, okay. Now remember, we have a daily, let's just do our top-down analysis now because I'm basically getting into it. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm revealing too much too fast. I want to make it fun and make it like a treasure hunt where I slowly show you. At the same time, let me get to the small account because I'm seeing movement. Remember, we took $90 to 153. All right, we're going to grow this small account. And it could have made way more. I was not aggressive at all on the account. I was very, because this is the first time, I think I've done it before on the low. I think I've taken $100 to $700. I did it in 36 hours, just obsessively. But this is back in the day when I used to just trade this one model I found on the 1 minute. I had this crazy boot camp. Then I left leverage alone for a long time, came back to it on and off. All right, and again, I would demo trade. And I didn't touch leverage trading until I traded for over 8-9 years. I've been trading the stock market for 8-9 years. And then I even traded crypto for another 4 to 5. Like it really 12 years before I touched a lev. And honestly, I wasn't that good because you know why? I was good at trading, and then I started touching leverage, and it's like all my trading knowledge went out the window. And I would trade horribly. I was the worst day leverage trader you've ever seen. The worst. Like, I figured it was something I should never do. Every time I touched it, I felt like I would just I didn't get liquidated because I was used to smart, but I would get stopped out 5 or 6 times and just be like, man, I can't do this. Then I get in my head, I would do the fear thing. I had to turn to Mark Douglas. Mark Douglas helped me, man. He changed my life. If I didn't get Mark Douglas's book, Trading in the Zone, I don't know if I ever would have saved myself. And I tell everyone all the time, please go get Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas if you are struggling as a trader. I can help you all I want, but that book gave me that mentality strength because I'm a logical guy. He had to put things into perspective for me. Bit of an Adam and Eve here on the 3-minute time frame. Bitcoin attempting to dig in at 115,000. Could get a pump back to 116.5 here. I don't like to trade below the 200 on a Monday morning, but I'm just showing you there looks like there could be a scalp here right now. I don't want to leave you hanging on the small time frames as I jump back in to the top-down analysis. All right. We haven't finished our top-down analysis today, which I do every single day obsessively. I've done it this morning. I'll do it again. I do it 3 to 4 times a day, this exact thing. And it's just how I do. It's how I roll. It's part of my whole thing, right? So the first thing I do is I map out support or resistance. It keeps me disciplined. So we clearly see, and I said to everybody over and over again, I said, we're bullish unless the monthly closes below 102. I said, we get a monthly close below 102. I said, then we could start seeing 96,000. I did see that there was, a head and shoulder pattern that could take it to 95, 94. I've told you everything I can tell you, the facts of trading. Like right now, this is a rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time. Meaning, right, 3/4 basically rounded up 3/4 of the time, this is coming back down to the bottom of the wedge. It does sometimes make a beautiful double bottom and pump. Like it's not always, but it creates a retrace. And then if you took a Fibonacci from like this wick here to that wick there, it coincides pretty dang close to the wick, which was the 618. So if we had come and dumped down to 75,000, it wouldn't be insane. You see what I'm saying? It would be just kind of like what I've seen thousands of assets have done that in my life. Does that mean Bitcoin was going to do it for sure? There was no guarantees. It's all about support and resistance. All right. So, but right off the bat, the monthly held 102,000 when we whipped down. Right. We never went low and we never closed a candle and all that. And then remember, we were down here and we were red. And I said, this is not the best. I said, but I told you, I said, if the end of the month, we end up getting back above 108,300. And then once we got up here and everyone was bearish, remember, there was like a whole bear brigade on Crypto X and, whatever. You don't even have to listen to it. I wouldn't if I were you. I'd stick to my charts blindfolded in the basement. And that's how you're going to be able to see the real thing. Listening to everybody else on the internet will get you nowhere. Sticking with the charts. I'm a nerd. I stick inside the charts. I'm just here alone in the charts all the time. I sacrificed a lot of my life. I lost some social skills. I sit alone staring at numbers and squares. I became a bit of a chart hermit, I guess. But chart hermits get paid. Nerds make a lot of money, man. I learned that the nerds were the richest people in the world. And I became a nerd. I became from that like street crazy hip hopper to a nerd. Kind of crazy, right? So I also kept saying, the monthly, because I make my patterns without wicks. Now, I don't like 1, 2, 3 wicks to the downside, but this huge wick up could tell a story. I'm still not sold that we're definitely going to pump to the moon. We could definitely still take a dump. I still see a possibility. What if the monthly were to make this a nasty head and shoulder pattern and just take a long time? You know what I mean? There's, anyone who tells you they know what's going to happen to Bitcoin for sure is someone you should probably move one seat away from on the bus. And just be like, this guy, because this guy's telling you for sure what's going to happen. Be careful of that. That's an egotistical trader. They have to tell you what's going to happen for sure because they have to tell themselves what's going to happen for sure. They're not speaking to you. They're actually speaking to themselves. They're saying this is going to happen because they got so much money invested one way. If it doesn't go that way, they're going to get rocked. So they have to preach to everybody what's going to happen and tell them that they know for sure. I used to do it. I've done this egotistical, maniac, horrible behavior. I've done it. It's going up for sure. This is before I ran a trading group back in the day. I was like, oh, it's a pump. I know for sure it's going to pump. Because I had so much money in the trade. Like, if it didn't pump, I was devastated. So, like, of course I was going to tell everybody it had to go the way I told them it was going to go, right? That's a devastating mental disorder that can bury you as a trader and really get you in a bad place. So, a couple things. Rising wedge could still break up. The measured move takes me somewhere to 190K. And to me, that would be a blow off top. I don't see how that would be sustainable. Even if they say the cycle was over, you would have to pull a Fibonacci from the beginning to the end and say, hey, we could come down to 84,000 one more time. Maybe 100K off the 0.5. Could say, hey, maybe that is your impulse. And so you got 84 and 100K, to me, are the likely retracements. So be ready. I mean, it's going to take things, nothing goes up forever. No asset in the world does. But Bitcoin, it's been going up forever, but there's some pullbacks along the way. All right. There are some pullbacks along the way. It doesn't go up. It kind of does. But it kind of does. Bitcoin, I love you. The 2-week chart, my go-to. The chart that I love to look at just closed a 2-week candle. So let's talk about this for a second. Interesting, right? It just made a tweezer bottom insane what it did, actually. Look at this. So it closed, opens right at the top, dips, comes back up, now opens, now kind of makes a tweezer bottom right here, right? Even though that wick is, what an insane bullish pin bar on the 2-week chart. Again, it's just suggesting that we're going to go sideways and pump. And we reset the stochastics and we didn't dump. When you go sideways with price and down on stochastics, it's telling you there's buy pressure. That's what I've learned, right? It's explaining, hey, I want to, I'm going sideways. The pressure should be setting me down, but for some reason, we're going further to the upside. And that's buy pressure for BTC, right? Again, now let's take a look at the weekly chart. I still kind of, we'll say, okay, fine. Top, bottom, top, bottom. You should head back to the top of the channel. That's, pattern trading 101, channel trading 101, right? Feels like it's a bit of someone asked me funny, it feels to me like, let's see here, is it here? It feels like a parallel channel. Which I had there, but now I don't see. I don't use it ever, so there it is, parallel channel. It has some parallel channel vibes, right? Oh, that's not how I want it to go. I want it to go, yeah. Seems like it's kind of getting stuck inside of this level. Anyway, I'd have to open it up. I don't use parallel channels, but I was looking at it the other night. So the weekly has a beautiful double bottom, all right? Absolutely lovely. And honestly, double bottoms break out 68% of the time, I kind of already showed this, but I just, I want to do it in this very clean way. And that takes you to 140K. So there's something on the board brewing here. And again, I'm still open-minded that we're not out the water just yet. But anything is possible for sure, right? See that Adam and Eve kind of still hanging out there just to kind of give you what's happening. Show you that we're still got big red up at 120,800 too. That is the biggest red area at the present moment. And then 116,800. So it's still, BOOKMAP still saying we're going up. And remember, this thing has been dead accurate, right? It said we were going up, we went up. I showed you it all weekend long. We nailed it. If you watched the lifers, if you had anything to do with my trading group, the crypto lifers, the testimonials came in hard this weekend. People joined the trading group this weekend. It was absolutely amazing. We hit one of the best calls ever. We pumped hard. I traded all weekend long. I was in a trade all weekend long, just kind of looking at my phone every once in a while. I was at the golf course, just checking. Everything ended up playing out absolutely beautifully to the upside. I mean, you got to love it. So the weekly looks bullish to me. I'd like a dump first and then a pump instead of a pump first and then a dump. We do have a wick there because we did come up from the bottoms, which is okay. But now we've also developed a wick in both sides. We'll see. Indecision right now at the beginning of the week, but it is Monday. We have rate cuts coming. We're going to take a look at the week ahead in a second and give you the news, not the news, but the updates, like who's announcing what's coming, what financial, information and data could move the market. 5-day chart, booming up, about to get above resistance. And look, I mean, value area highs suggest all the way back to 127,000 or higher. The 3-day could be making a right shoulder here. So look, shoulder, head, right shoulder, and dump. I mean, we wouldn't be out the water just yet. And now you would become right up to resistance for the short. And then, so and everyone's like, but you're so bullish, Sam. Now you're like, I'm open-minded. See, I have the ability to not know what's going to happen, but to have faith that the charts are going to show me in the future. I know that I can read the charts so well that all I have to do is keep going forward. The charts are going to provide all the information I need. I have faith that God has provided me with a beautiful mind, and that beautiful mind is going to be able to decipher the charts. I say thank you to God for my memory. I say thank you to God for my abilities and my strengths. God gave me mathematical strengths. He gave me good memory. He gave me, somewhat of a pattern recognition mind. I can see things. I'm blessed. Thank you, dear Lord, for that ability. I put it to work. For years, I had a strange mind that fragmented reality. It took the pieces out in different ways. And I could tell everyone else could see like a whole thing, but I would see these little and I didn't know how to use it. It made me different. Socially, I was somewhat awkward sometimes just because how I looked at reality, I knew was very unique. And I think we all do, but mine was a little odd. Like everyone else kind of seemed to fit. And all my friends were like, yeah, but then there's Sam. Sam's just a little different than everybody else, Even my dentist knew I was different. It's weird. I seen him after 20 years. He goes, man, you're a piece of work. I never seen anyone like you. I was like, what? I was like, how did you, how? He's like, you were just different, man. The way you came in here, all this energy. He's like, there was something about you, man. He's like, I'm not surprised you became a YouTuber. I'm not surprised you did something with your life, he said to me. He's like, because you were different. He's like, of all the kids that came in this office, there's something about you, man. He laughed, man. I was like, man, what do you mean? And anyway, I finally found my calling with the charts. I finally figured out I could use this to my advantage. And what a blessing it is when you find out what you're meant to do with your life. Because for me, I was wondering what I'm meant to do. And now I know I'm meant to teach. I'm meant to tackle these markets. And I love what I do for a living. So thank you for everyone that allows me to do this for a living. I'm so grateful. May God bless you and thank you so much. There's no words I could ever say of appreciation and joy for everyone that showed up today and that supports the channel and what I do. Thank you. So the daily, it got above the 200. We saw an awkward, slanted, drunken, inverted head and shoulder, right? We talked about it. We saw the cup and handle. I said, once you get above a 200 moving average, expect big movement. We do this on the 1 hour. We do this on the 1 minute all the time. I showed you, I went over this. I said, whenever the daily got bunched up near the 200, we ended up getting a big move. I said, it happened every time. I said, it happened here, 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 and here we are again. I also talked about being near the 200 moving average is usually a beautiful discount. I mean, if you can't buy there, where can you buy? And if that's coupled with a 23 in the fear and greed index, it was at 22, 23. I mean, come on. And so for me, that was a steal. Like, I had to buy BTC at those levels. I'm pissed I was at lunch during the dip. I didn't have access to an account. My buddy looks at me, he goes, 105. I go, by the time I get home, it's like 110 or something. I was like, what the? I still can't believe what happened. It will be 3 weeks this Friday. I almost thought like the crypto market was collapsing forever. For a split second, I thought it was over. I thought something big was, I thought the reality of what I thought was true was over. Like, I was like, man, what is going on here? For a split second, I didn't know. Seemed like the walls were closing in on me there. But then we got home, the market stabilized. I'm about to eat the salad. My buddy goes 105. And it was just like 119 or 117. So I'm like, I think he's messing with me, right? But he's a friend of mine, and I know he wouldn't do that. I'm sitting there at dinner, and I'm like, 105. I'll always remember my face when he says 105. I'm just like, couldn't see my face, but I could definitely see what it probably looked like in my mind. I was like, 10 what? 10 what? Dude, I was flabbergasted to say the least. My goodness. The daily looking interesting, but look, I mean, it hit a daily resistance. Clearly 117, we got to that 116, 265. What was the high of this daily candle? 116, 400 even. Oh yeah, 116, 400. And again, this could end up being a right shoulder, could it not? We may still take a nasty dump to the downside here. The cool thing is, a bunch of people are going to pile in shorts here and start putting stops up in this area. I mean, this is where they would put a stop loss. Let's look at the 2-to-1s and the 3-to-1 ratios, because that's what, Yeah, so there's your 2-to-1 there. So all the stop losses, and they like to go 8-to-1. They're very risky. So all the stops are going to be between 117.5 and 122. You just know it. We know it. I know it. You know how people trade. And BOOKMAP is already starting to show this. It's saying, hey, we're starting to load up in these two areas. They line right up. See, with 120 and 117.5 right there. So we're starting to build the picture that people are going to continue to short the market out of fear. They're going to continue to get aroused that there's less opportunity. And you have to remember that they keep the average person down because the average person thinks it's not good enough. Things aren't good enough. So it's easier to get them to short the market in the good times and long the market in the bad times, right? They chase with their emotions. It's an emotional chase that they're on. So for me, there is some weakness. This could make a right shoulder. We're not out the water just yet. There's some good signs. 12 hours right on the 200, right? 8 hours above the 200. So this is a beautiful sign. Many times in my life, I would long right now with a stop below that wick and just see what happens. That could be a very advantageous place to get in right there. And you just go back to an all-time high. The 8 hour, above the 8 hour 200. The last time we crossed it, it was fireworks once. This time they played games. This time it was fireworks. Look, once the one candle even just got above it for a second, that would have been a front run. But wow. And here again, so look, there it worked beautifully. If you just, like right now, it looks just like it does. You go back in time. This looks so similar to the 8 hour right now. Had you just long this with a stop below like this resistance here, and look, it made the flag with the 21. But had you just got in here with a stop, look what would have happened. I'm not saying it's going to happen every time, but man, that was a mean signal, right? So, yes, I would like to exit. So it tells me, hey, there's a chance here that you could take a shot. Now, I could also get stopped out easily, but that's the thing is, it's high, it's low, you don't have to risk a lot to gain a lot. It's a 10-to-1 risk-reward ratio. I could put a G in here, and if I'm right, I win 10 grand. I could put $100 and win 1,000. You know what I mean? So, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. This has to make sense to you. If I wait for the 21 to touch above the 200, I'll be in, but it might pump and do something here. I might miss, you never know. That's starting to get me excited. I have to be honest, because that's one of my favorite signals. And this is what I said in the trading group today. I said I wouldn't be longing or shorting. Because right now, think about what happened. The weekend pump. So you're going to have all these people that showed up today that have that emotion of fearing, oh, I didn't get in. So they're going to be like trying to get into longs just because they can't stop their emotions. And they're going to have all the people that are like, oh, that's the top, I'm going to short this. So they got too much sauce right now to do this on. Like they can go down and up, and you don't want to be one of those people. You just want to let them clear out everybody first. And usually it takes them till about between 5 and 8 o'clock tonight. They will take care of everyone they have to. And that's what False Move Monday is about. It's about clearing the liquidity. Everyone that shows up on the weekend thinks they can just show up and trade. No. I didn't take the weekend off. I got more information than you or than the average guy that took the weekend off. I don't know about you, but you probably held with me. You're a lifer. But so we already see the next trade. We already see the risk of the reward. We already see the possible target. 121.8. This is what we're looking for here for BTC. And that's, look, you could go the whole leg too for an all-time high. But right now, 121.8 is the target for our flag. If this plays out, my goodness. And you'd say, we got it here. Same scenario happened right here. All right. And look, I'm hooking you up with so much back-tested data. It's so amazing. My mind has it all memorized in my brain. I remember all these times. See, I categorize it all. So my brain just plays the whole show for you. I have a photographic memory that just has the whole show ready for you. And so that was it. I would have said, let's wait, let this thing flag out above the right, and let's go. Stop loss below these wicks. And you would have got so paid with me. We took this trade, we nailed it. It was beautiful. It hit the target and everything. So anyway, I've done this many, many times on the channel. This won't be the first. So Bitcoin's starting to show signs of a beautiful move. A beautiful move. This is the beginning. We dug out the trenches here. This is the beginning. Let's see what can happen. Look, the huge pump. We've been through a lot. Right? This was bearish. This didn't look good. We had the descending triangle, but then it got back in. Once we got above the 1 minute 200, I called along. I called along right here. Inside of a cup and handle. It was actually 106.5 inside of a cup and handle on the one. And that's still online right now. To this day, that long that I called. And we've been pumping ever since. Look at the 4 hour, just doing damage. Then I called this flag, if you remember, this weekend. We were drawing it on the one, and then we got the move. And now we're above the 200. Now I'm calling the next flag the same way. Will you listen this time, or will you counter trade the lifer? I don't know. It's up to you. We'll see. It's not even me. It's the system. This is a system telling me what's likely going to happen. I just listened to it. So look, the head and shoulder didn't play out too well. Right? We're in some chop. We're in bullish chop as far as I'm concerned. So again, I'd watch the 1 hour time frame. And I look for it to bounce off this 21 and start. It's nice. It's got to start a bit of a flag here. This is what I'm looking for. That could be your bottom buy right now. That's in a very aggressive entry though. That means things have to go exactly as planned. Now, if I wait for it to go as planned, then I can get in. I don't have to commit right now, but we are oversold on the 1 hour. There's a chance that is your low. And because we have a lot of resistance here, look at this, supportive resistance flip. You bounce, 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 resistance, resistance. You had chop, so that's an area you would be bouncing from. 114,007, 114,008 is key. You lose that, you're going to drop down here. I see this could be a shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. See, I see anything that's possible. And I'm open-minded to all things. And I'm able to switch at a moment's notice to stay alive. That's the key. Again, you're playing, I go back to these same two metaphors, or these same two, comparisons. But you're playing chess against a chess player. If you told yourself exactly every move he's going to make, you would not be able to fight. You'd probably lose. But if you say, I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I'm going to have at least a few plans for what he's going to do, you're going to be probably at least better prepared than the guy that says he's going to move his rook over here for sure. So get rid of anyone that tells you they know where price is going, because that's like someone playing you in chess telling you know where you're going. But you dang well know he doesn't know where you're going yet. You haven't made up your mind yet. So how would he know where you're going? He might know the 5 possible moves you can make, and he might know the probability of what you should do. And that's what he's locking in on. But it doesn't mean he knows what you're doing. So every single time you watch a trader tell you, this is exactly what's happening, I'm shorting and we're going down, 94K for sure, just laugh, because be like, man, that's that guy who plays chess that knows what I'm doing. That means if he was playing you versus chess, he would tell you to your face, you know what you're doing, but he doesn't know what you're doing yet. Think about it logically. Think it through. Okay? And Mark Douglas will tell you this because he says there's a different person in every, like tomorrow, there's going to be a different people in the Bitcoin trade than today. It's not going to be the same. You know, there's going to be some of the same people, but it's not going to be exactly the same. I might take the day off tomorrow and not trade. So now I'm not one of, so now the trading parameters are different. What Mark Douglas basically says is if you assume you're going to lose the trade that you lost yesterday, you're assuming the exact same people are in the trade as yesterday, but that's not true. There's always a different subset of people that are in the trade every single day. Different institutions, different people. Okay? Funny, we used to use the 800 MA a lot too back in the day. What do you think of BitTensor's subnets? I don't know enough about them, but I like BitTensor. And so I believe anything kind of built underneath it will do pretty well. So I have faith that the crew and what they're connected to will do okay over time. Yeah. But I'd have to do more research to give you like an adequate answer to that question without feeling like it wasn't, you know, fully detailed. So, you know, Sam, can you check the 800 AMA on the 1 hour making a bottom? Says my travel guide 3028 on the 1 hour. So I just got to kind of go here. Type in MA. Type in moving average. Simple. Flip this down. Turn this to the 800. I had it like white, I guess. Two white ones. And is this the, yeah, let me just. I mean, it's interesting when you cross it. See, when we crossed the 800, we were gone. We crossed the 800, we could be gone too. Could put a stop below the 800 and let that thing fly. Look, I mean, every time we've crossed the 800, here we got above it, we did retest. Here we got above it, we hung on it, we were gone. Here we got above it, we were gone. And I mean, I love moving average trading for this reason because it just, yeah, there's a chance, man. It looks interesting. It had a resistance, you got back above it. And is it always just, you know, it always seems to be a coincidence that the moving averages create these perfect support and resistance areas? You know? So again, I'm not longing anything today until the 4 hour starts to make a nice bullish pattern, right? And remember, the 5 minute is still battling that 200 moving average. It's actually below it with a head and shoulder now. Oh, it looks, usually when you lose that, you're going to dump. And look, it looks like you might dump right down to that 800 now that we have it up there. Start adding too many, but the 800 is interesting. If I add too many, I will get confused. I've learned if you start adding too many, then you're going to, well, I can do this with that and that with this. It's trading is about finding a very simple model and recreating it over and over again. Morning, Sam. MAVIA pump some. Can you take a look at it? From Crypto Plumber. Shout out to Crypto Plumber for always being a supportive. And thank you for the $20 super chat. That's amazing. You didn't have to give, but you did. And shout out to everybody here. May we have the likes up to the watchers. That would greatly appreciate it. Please hit that like button and get us moving. It would mean the world to me if you hit that like button. You inspired me to fast. I'm on a 24-hour, still feeling hungry, hoping and praying this hunger nonsense will subdue soon. Thanks for being awesome. You know, if you fast more often and you have a more protein and fat diet, you will not be as hungry. Also, if you just drink, put some sprinkles of salt in your water. And that electrolyte fix, despite you realize it can somehow quell the hunger. And also, hunger is ghrelin. It's gremlin. Look it up. It's this one. It's a chemical, or you know, called ghrelin, I believe. Ghrelin. You know, I'm close to the answer. I might be off slightly. I read it one time, but that's what's creating the feeling of hunger. Right now, I have the feeling of hunger. I don't eat until the show is over. I eat at 1 o'clock every day. I stop eating. I attempt. Sometimes I snack a little bit. Like yesterday, I had like a little block of cheese at about like, I think during the third quarter. But for the most part, you know, I try to stop snacking. I eat some blueberries and banana. But you know, when I'm being a good guy, which isn't 80% of the time, I stop snacking after 7, 8, and I don't eat again until 1 o'clock the next day. If you do that a lot, you'll get used. Like right now, I have a hunger feeling. I like the feeling of being hungry. It gives me energy. When I have hunger and I know I'm like light. When I feel full, I'm like tired, right? So whenever I get the feeling, I'm addicted to the feeling of being hungry. Like right now, I'm at my stand-up desk. And I could do the JC, right? But I don't want to ruin my suits. and I want to look nice when I'm with you. So I have time to work out another time. I have time to trade. I like to keep everything compartmentalized. Workout time, trading time. I do trade when I'm working out, but that's not on the live. But God bless you for being inspired by anybody, man. I'm happy I inspired you, brother. And God lives through me, so God inspired you. So God bless you, bro. Sending love to my man, the legend, the myth. You're the best, Sam. BTCC Trading Challenge starts today. Guaranteed prize. Let's go. Shout out to Muck in the house. And let me reform this submission form there and get it going. But thank you for saying that. And again, Palantir ripping, man. You see the trade? Up 77%, of course, right? That's 7.7. What if we get the triples, the quadruple sevens? Show us 7777. But still, you see how the triple sevens, man? God bless my dad, always holding me down. The oldest exchange that I mess with, you know, that I deal with, that I partner with right now, since 2014 or 15, BTCC. Never went down, never had an issue too, man. They pride themselves on efficiency. And look, $50 gets 5. 50,000 trading volume gets 5. 100,000 gets 10. And so on and so forth. All the way up to 50 million get a Vision Pro, 20 million get a Rolly, 500 million get a dang car, and you could even get a Cybertruck. This is 1 month of trading here, and exclusively for the Crypto Lifer community, and get 10% deposit on your first, 10% bonus on your first deposit. So jump on into BTCC, and we got a trade cooking right now. That's firing off. Shout out to Mr. Muck, man. We love you, the Muck Bear. Boom, boom, boom. Grenlin. Yeah, Grenlin. Thank you, yes. That sweet, sweet Palantir PE ratio. I know, right? I missed your starting time because of the clock change in Europe. No worries, man. It's okay. And then I'm going to change my clock time in about a month, right? Because then we're going to go back. You know, I think we change my clock time in like a few weeks. So, with the highest trading volume you've reached, I don't know. That's a good question. I think like 50 mil or something. Yeah, gold's going to go sideways and reset. That's just what's likely going to happen, folks. And Bitcoin's going to go sideways today. People are trying to find their way. There was massive pumps, and now the market has to answer to it. Let's take a look at the CME. Got to be a CME gap too, right? So let's take a look at that. People are going to start hollering, CME. Let's be some of the first to know. So we pumped. There's the gap right there. I mean, you can see it. And, you know, it was obvious. I was like, oh, there's going to be a gap now. And so now you got a CME gap. Look at it. It's between like one, you know, it's more apparent on the 1 hour. Yeah, we pumped all weekend. I mean, there's a CME gap now. So what does that mean? What is a CME gap? It's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They start trading around 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, right? That's when the futures market begins to open. Or 6 p.m., 6 p.m. Right there, yeah, it says 6 p.m., 1800. So, and what happens is if you pump between the hours of Friday afternoon and Sunday afternoon, you're going to create a gap in the CME. 95% of gaps get filled. It just is what, look, there's a gap there. That gap came and got filled. We pumped. We opened. Look, this is the same scenario. We pumped Sunday. We open Monday. You see that? Sunday, you're pumping. You open Monday, and there's a gap. So, again, it got some of the pump because we, you know, but so now we have to deal with the fact that does the CME come and close the gap? Which may or may not happen, but 95% of the time it does. Right? That would create something more like this. So take this into account. There's also, you know, and there's some, you know, so take that into account. We may fill the gap, baby. Fill the gap. And it's a definite gap in the CME. I mean, it's quite apparent. So there you have it. There's a gap in the CME. Everyone's going to scream, we need to fill the gap. This is the last time this happened was 2021. Do the math. I don't know. April was a new moon, and this full moon coming up will shift the tides. Yeah, and again, the CME is going to turn 24/7 in the, I think, by 2026. And so there'll be no gaps ever again, which will be pretty nice, right? I mean, then we won't have that push and pull and a duality on the markets, people trying to fight their way into the same liquidity at different time zones, right? It's just like, hey, I run this market. You can't push me out of my own market. We're going to dump you now. Asia's like, no, please don't. New York, please be nice today. Oh, man. Pay AI coming down. Maybe a chance to grab more. I wasn't into it, but if you are, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Last night, Bitcoin had a $1,500 1-minute candle. That's insanity. Yeah. Let's go, lifers. YouTube channels will get, yeah. You're so funny. Hey, Sam, what's with the Sunday pump? Seems to be a weekly thing. It's been happening on and off. We got a Sunday pump. I remember our first big Sunday pump. I remember because I was out on the boat with Mario, and it was like 3 months ago. And I was like, man, pumping on a Sunday. It was amazing. Actually, it was before the summer. It was like back in May. All right. A couple weeks before I left, I think. Huge head and shoulder on the 5-minute. Yes, the same exact. We've been saying that. It's a giant head and shoulder on the 5-minute time frame, and it's below the 200 moving average. But, you know, some say it's already, you know, beginning to kind of get played out, right? Like it has a support that it's. I'm just looking for the 1 hour and the 4 hour to consolidate. I don't expect it, you know, for my system is kind of calling for something like this to go down. So I wouldn't expect a dump, but you never know. Anything is possible. And right now we're a little more bearish than bullish on the shorter time frames, but still more bullish on the bigger time frames. The bigger time frames have flipped bullish. The weekly and a double bottom, right? The monthly could close the biggest monthly candle in history. The daily looking nice with 3 white soldiers in continuation, you know, and then you go to the 4 hour, which just needs to consolidate. So like everything makes sense to me, and it should make sense to you if you're a crypto lifer and you've been following me for a long time. This all follows suit into what we're looking at. I think it's crucial now that we jump in here to total 3 and just, you know, we kind of spend some time on the bigger outcome of the alts here. We also going to look at Bitcoin dominance for my Friday show. I hope you watched the macro technical analysis video that will blow your mind, which is calling all sorts of craziness in the NASDAQ and more. So look, we're hoping this comes up, makes a right shoulder. So we get the pump. Bitcoin gets back in action. It takes control of the market. We start sucking liquidity out of the traditional, traditional facets, right? And in a quantitative easing, the rate cuts, money starts flowing in. We get the pump. We get the right shoulder. The right shoulder, you know, fills out, and we get the dump all the way back down here somewhere to about 49%, right? Or at least, you know, or at least down to 55 again. This would be an alt. This would give us some type of alt season. However, what if it gets tight, and Bitcoin just takes over? There's a chance that we just get a follow through on alts as Bitcoin pumps, but we never get the actual loaded up season. But you know, it still doesn't mean you can't get 300, 400 Solana. But it's just saying that selective coins will pump. AI agents will pump. Memes will pump. There'll be gains just like there was before. I just think it's going to be a slightly different cycle than you've seen in the past. One step at a time. All right. Look at that Coral Soul. Look how nice that looks. And again, I just found out about it yesterday, but that's just consolidating beautifully in a flag. I don't own any. I just like to look at good TA. That looks pretty. And I think it was just up from last night. I didn't even think about it. It just happened to be sitting there. I don't know what you keep going over React, Agony Trader. I'm just not privy to it as much as you are. I think it's like your baby. And it's reactive network, right? I want to make sure we're always looking at the same thing here. Yeah, let's take a look. I mean, it's funny, right? You asked me about it recently, and I drew the Twisted Sister. I said it's either going to go sideways or down to the 618. And look, it went right to the 618 golden pocket. It bounced from 9 cents all the way. Target is 17. And see, this is what I do. See, it shows you I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm open-minded to create what could happen, right? I see this all the time. They break the pattern, they go back inside. So you could either make it like a symmetrical, or it almost looks like a falling wedge there. But it flags out and it breaks out the flag. It's a kind of an uptrending cup and handle. You got this like funky little cup. There's a cup and handle there too. See, cup with a handle. Hey man, this thing's been bullish. It's in a very big uptrend. Look at that. It just continues to go. I don't see why it can't hit the target, and then it will probably consolidate somewhere between 15 and 16. And then its next leg would be here, like once it consolidates in there. I mean, I don't see how it can't continue to 25. Like, what's stopping the trend? You got a higher high, that's a higher low. So a high, higher high, higher high, higher high. You're continuously making higher lows. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. React continues to do damage. And shout out to you. Now I know why you love it so much. Sam, you have noticed the guy with 200 million liquidity in Binance futures on BOOKMAP who goes back and forth with a long and short like it's 1% above and below price action. He's been there for weeks. I don't really care, man. It means nothing to me. It doesn't do much to me. Sam, can you take a peek at XRP? Let's take a look at XRP, which I'm bullish on right now on the bigger time frames. I like what I'm seeing for XRP. You know, it tells me that this is going to bounce. Right? You know, and actually that's up from my original entry there. What, 259? You are back up at 265. But, you know, see this? It's got to make it inverted. You see this? Got to make the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and then we could break on out of here. Something's going on there. Well, yeah, and it's going to take its time. But I definitely see XRP somewhere at $6.39 by April. It'll take its time. And I don't know if I can't ever tell you for sure. Like, it could be quicker. It could be longer. I don't know. Like, I never try to be like perfect on timing. To me, timing doesn't matter. I've been right by 9 or 6 days before on like 2-month calls. Like, it's amazing how this does work. It does suggest we should be there somewhere by March, but you know what? Like, if I'm not there by March, I'm not freaking out. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure the trajectory is going the way it's going. That's what's more important to me. If 5 lifers win the Rolex at our trading challenge, I will also arrange a meetup at Memphis Grizzlies game at the VIP box. That's crazy. VIP box at the Grizzlies. Did we see Fartcoin? Is it going to short? I don't know. I'd rather not even look at them. It's not one of my favorite coins. All right? Yeah. Let's take a look at what's happening today in the bigger picture of the market. We've seen some nicer gains in the last hour. We're going to take, look, Trump coin actually up a little bit. Zcash is really the big winner, man. And we talked about it. We gave you the setup. I really was nothing else worth trading on the, I said be careful of altcoins. There's a few altcoins I would trade. I'd like the big time Solana chart, and I like the Zcash chart, right? And then we put a few other things that we were looking at. But for the most part, I felt like altcoins were a little sketchy. I like virtuals. You know, I have a bag of it as well. And I believe it has so much utility that AI agents will come back strong the second you get a whimper of alt season. Virtuals is the first thing that's going to move because it actually has a real process. It's actually got a real team, real utility. Anything that's got actual use case. And the thing about virtuals is it's involved in the speculative meme because AI agents and some memes, it can take some market share from speculation, but it also has utility. I mean, that's the best of both worlds. That's why that coin can really go. It just hit me. I had the epiphany. What does virtuals have? Because virtuals is a real utility, but also also hovers around the speculation meme narrative. It basically can overlap both those narratives. See, other things are just speculative memes. Once that clears, they're done. They're cooked. Virtuals is an actual utility, but people also use it to get into some crazy AI agents that probably some are just complete memes and aren't real. Some are. You have to differentiate. So it can cover that speculative market, right? There were some crazy memes, or I felt like they were AI agent memes in a way. I can't explain exactly how you know. But do you get my drift? I think that's an important thing to point out. And that's why virtuals is gaining an edge. It makes sense. It's got the both, right? I like virtual, having a bag of it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but man, bang, bang, bang. What about Pi? I'm thinking quantum computing tokens will be the next bubble. I just don't know why. I mean, there will be quantum computers, quantum AI, Quantix. Yeah. Sam Sudnet, you could look into SN4 and SN6. You could look into them. Your free time. Oh, I did find SN4 one. Yeah. No, I did look at that video. Thank you. It's funny. You're jarring my memory because I was up late at night one day and I think it was AIXBT. But something put me on to SN41 and SN62. And then I was like, oh, yeah. I think SN41, not SN62. You're the best at what you do. Much appreciated. Shout out to TP Don 1231 with the 777s. You didn't have to say that nice words of kindness, but you did. Thank you. And let me respond to you here if I can. Thank you, good sir. Thank you. And I just want to make sure everyone feels included and part of something bigger than themselves. If this show gives you that feeling of positivity and helps you move forward in your life, sometimes it's all somebody needs. It's just a certain spark. You know, Emily Dickinson wrote a poem about a certain slant of light. That was the name of the poem. A certain slant of light, right? And it's about how you just need a tiny piece of light to come in. And next thing you know, that room ain't dark anymore, right? It's not full of light yet, but it's not dark. So all we need is a spark, man. One candle, man, can change your whole life. One spark of light can get it going. So we gave you Zcash trade. Let's show you it for a split second in case you aren't sure what I'm talking about. And Bitcoin's just looking good. I like how it's holding 14.8. I like how it's hanging above this area. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a bounce here off this 21-day moving average on the 1 hour. You're oversold. You got a flag. And honestly, it could honestly just boom up here too to 117.8. You know, I'm not saying what I say is gold. You know, it happens a lot, but it could boom. It may not make the flag like I'm showing you, and it may make the flag may be a lot smaller. Could be even something more like this. We could even use what's called the shift tool here. We hold shift and go sideways. I mean, 21 hours. The longer this consolidates, the bigger the move, right? If it does a 21-hour consolidation, that's going to be a massive pump. You see what I'm saying? You want it to get a juice. That's like, man, that's like marinating a steak. You know what I mean? It's going to taste better the longer you let that thing sit. I mean, as long as it's not sitting outside in the, you know, unless the French, right? Don't they let it sit and get maggots in it? And that's like a good steak. Oh man, I've heard some crazy stuff. Like, oh yeah. We let it sit out in the top of the farm for years. Then we eat it. It's great. 114,959. Be careful. We could get a bounce. And there's a lot of people that shorted this head and shoulder. We're oversold. You want to be looking for that 1 minute to get back above the 200 moving average. All these things will coincide with each other. Right now, it's battling it. It's attempting that Adam and Eve, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, same story. Once these get back above, and look, I'm even seeing this too, like shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? So this all could play out exactly like it's supposed to. This head and shoulder would hit the measured move. Then you get the rejection. There could be a double top there. That will come down. Boom, 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 ba. Bada boom, bada bing over here. Starting to look interesting enough. Back to 115,000 Bitcoin. Showing strength right now. Showing strength. 100-day dry age. Yeah, I don't like dry aged. I don't. I like a regular steak, man. Now you go to these fancy places, dry age. I don't want no dry aged steak, man. I just want a steak, bro. Nice and fresh with some fat on it, man. Throw me some salt, give me some butter, and I'm in on that ribeye, baby. As soon as Vanna 21 crosses the 200 on the 1 minute, like Lifer says. Let's take a look at Vanna for you because you got me excited now. You got me sniffling around. And I keep talking here about XRPZ. Stop losses. I always use a stop loss. I got in the habit and they don't, you know, and I prove that they don't get hit all the time, right? No stop loss got hit in the making of this trade. And once that will start coming out all the time. No stop loss got hit in the making of this trade. Bang, right? Meat. I love steak and beef. I tried dry age. It made me sick because I wanted to really like it. It's funny, right? Yeah, the other day I was there and the guy's like, we only have a dry age ribeye and then we have a strip. And I'm like, why no regular ribeye? I said, it's just because that's just, you know. And I said, I want to get it, but I just... He's like, everyone has the dry age here and they love it. And I'm like, give me the chicken parm. It was the biggest chicken parm you've ever seen, though. It was like this big. I'm not lying. Circumference of the plate was about 24. The diameter of the plate was 24 inches. I'm not lying. I am not lying. I have a picture of it somewhere. Mario was there. A guy, this guy on my trading group, he was there, man. He saw it. So let's take a look at MAVIA here. Heroes of MAVIA. Wow, it did spike up nice. And I own this coin. Nice to see it go up 4x. Right? It went from 7 cents to 24 cents. This was a premier coin, if you remember. Like, everyone that was going over gaming. Another thing, everyone, gaming didn't disappear. Kids didn't stop playing games. Let me explain something to you real fast. All right? All right. This is going to take a second. You may not understand at first. Shout out to the 4 777s. Look at the 777s. Look at 47777 every time, baby. Shout out to the 1,537 beautiful souls. The people that's still here. Remember, they liquidated everyone. They try to kick us off. They want no one in this live stream. They want to make sure we're all sad and home crying. But no, I didn't get liquidated. I started making gains. I called the bottom. We started pumping. We paid the trader all for the last week and a half. We've been getting paid. Since Monday, since Wednesday night, things really started to take off. And then all weekend we watched until we got that big pump. What I'm trying to tell you, there's narratives in Bitcoin. And narratives in altcoins, I mean. And I'm just drawing like a table. You get gaming with a G, right? We got AI agents, all that virtuals, right? And what happens is Bitcoin takes a nasty dump. Everyone says crypto sucks, and nobody thinks about the narratives. They disappear, but they never go anywhere. They're still there. Okay? DeSci, decentralized science, right? Remember that also FHE, was it? Homogenized. I'll get into it again, but it was funny. I slipped my mind, but I'll get into that again. Dry age is not all that, but Wagyu is really good if you like the fatty flavor. You know, I try to get into Wagyu too. And about 2 years ago, I went to a steakhouse, had the Wagyu, ordered Wagyu 5 or 6 times. For me, it tastes good, but like I just like a regular tomahawk ribeye, man. I've had it all. I want that tomahawk ribeye. The best ribeye I've ever had is from the Skull Candy House, the Skull Candy Room in Memphis, Tennessee. In Nashville. Oh my God. Anyway, so these narratives will come back very strong. Very, very strong. And what's going to happen is the second Bitcoin finds like it's back above a new time high and starts to rip to 30K or something, and then Ethereum goes to a new time high, these narratives are going to come back crazy. And then overnight, there's going to be stuff like this MAVIA going 7 to 20, and it's just, altcoins can come back so fast, right? Once GTA comes out, gaming cryptos will explode. Yeah, and so gaming crypto, to me, is still around, man. And I still have my gaming crypto portfolio. Like, I never gave up on this stuff because I've seen this happen before. I've held dormant altcoins. I'm not saying everything's going back to its all-time high, and but what I am saying is there's opportunity. Look, this finally got above the daily 200 moving average. It made the weakest Adam and Eve, but that's like a weak Adam and Eve. You see it? I've been backtesting these theories. They do play out over time. So now MAVIA is back above the daily 200 moving average. Seemed like it bottomed out and said, no, and people like this. Someone thinks it's a solid project. So again, like if Bitcoin flags out today and does that pump on the 4, these coins are going to follow. So like I would watch for MAVIA to continue. Again, I do hold bags of MAVIA. So it is in my portfolio. Bitcoin finally getting back above the 200 moving average, just like a peaking. It's just peaking above. Don't get overly excited here. It's just peaking above, just so ever so barely. Okay. Rockstar already said they're not implementing crypto from GTA. It doesn't matter about that. It just, that's going to create a frenzy. And there's definitely going to be some game that comes out and, cryptocurrency is definitely going to be the way, because think it's the fastest way AI can and ribeye and T-bone, tomahawks. Give me the whole cow, right? I'm the same, Sammy. Give me a basic steak with a filet. Still my favorite. Never had a tomahawk ribeye yet, but ribeye my second. I've had like 20 tomahawks in my life at this point, like $180 to $300 steaks. I have. I'm not trying to brag, but I did. I've done it, and it's been amazing, man. And they taste unreal. Usually we split it like 2 or 3 people. The things are huge, I know I got to have a steak now tonight. I'm sorry, guys. Now we all have to eat steak tonight. MAVIA looks good to me. I would put an alert on MAVIA. See, this is how I find my next entry. I'm always watching all sorts of coins all the time. And then we have an alert section, and I go through the alert section for the trading group, and we kind of find out what's hot and what's not. We have elite traders that are plowing through the altcoins too as well. It's an amazing group of people here in the group. I could eat off the elite traders. I believe I could just, never work again and just take the elite calls, man. The trading group is amazing. I'll have a steak with you, man, anytime, brother, anytime. New York strip is my go-to. I'm going to start eating a few more New York strips. I eat ribeyes all the time. I think there is some visceral fat there. You're gaining a lot of fat. And as much as I like fat, and I think fat is good, I think I had way too many ribeyes. I was having like 3 a week. I think it's going to be 1 ribeye a week and more strip steaks. I think I'm going to switch to strip steak a little bit. The best steak in Singapore, Meat and Chill, closing 2nd November. Oh, that's sad. Got most fat, a clear winner for me. I want to have a tomahawk ribeye and bring the big bone home for my bully dog. He'd be in heaven, yeah. $40 bone-in ribeye cooked yourself. Can't beat it. Oh, yeah. That's it. I'm going to get steaks. He's like, I got to get off the stream now. I got to go get some steaks. Anyway, let's get back into the chat and get off steak. But steak is hot. Steak is obviously a big... people seem to like steak. All right. The fat adds to the moistness, though. It does, though. It does. Come on. It's amazing. So let's get back in, see if we can find a live trade here for Bitcoin before, we're going to... it's got to breach the 200 moving average there. 1 minute seems like it's about to. It's getting close, but it just, Right, anything on Gala? Let's take a look. Send in the super chats too. We're going to deep dive the coins now and see what's hot. So that's in the last hour. In the last 24 hours, Virtuals is the top winner, man. And in the last week, Humanity Protocol and Virtuals, Zcash, Jupiter, and Hyperliquid, Bitcoin Cash, Pump Fun, XRP up 8%, Aerodrome 7%. So up, we have a lot of 5%ers. Caspa even up 5%. Solana up 4.52%. A lot of coins doing damage. BNB holding that $1,000 level. You knew it had to pull back after the pump. And again, it's people that have DCA'd have DCA'd. These altcoins, they don't hold big market caps for no reason. There will be an ebb and flow. Pumps happen eventually. Nothing better than some Bill Gates 3D printed meat. Oh my God, disgusting, right? Beyond that coin, even the shadiness of how that thing pumped, right, was absolutely ridiculous. Let's take a look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency. This is the most important thing I want to see today. And let's break it down. We talked about how important it was that we pumped off the bottom of this channel and out of the falling wedge. I said we have to pump here. I said it on Friday, right? We had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Here we are on Monday, 4 days later. And everything happened as planned. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this. Absolutely insane. I said we cannot lose the 200 moving average. If we do, you could see us revisit 3 trillion. I said that just doesn't make sense for us to have the rally everyone talks about, the move that we all need or that we all desire and pray for is coming if we can consolidate nicely. The falling wedge did break to the upside. That has a measured move back to the top of this channel. People call it top there maybe, but I like this and I'm looking for this to consolidate. The only thing about this is, and I can make it tight, this would be nice. If we can get out of this, we need this to be a little tighter. Boom, boom, boom. And we need to be getting out of here by December 1st. So we can get that Santa rally, baby. Santa rally from December to February, right? And that's usually when things start. That's just like what I've seen in my lifetime and that post-halving year. Let's take a look at the total 3. Total 3, same idea. This is the entire market cap of all the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah. And you just want to see it bounce here, go sideways, and get on out. So we can get this pump going, again, somewhere by November 28th. Just do somewhere between the 26th and November 8th. Come on, baby. And December 8th, sorry. And we get that pump. Bitcoin back to 14.9 makes 100% sense. I would not be, you don't see me live trading right now. I know when we're in chop. I know when there's a beautiful trade out there and when there's time to chill. And knowing when there's time to chill is a skill. Like knowing when not to trade is a huge skill. Forcing yourself to trade every single moment of the day. I trade a lot, probably 7 days a week, but not all time. Like I might trade tonight, but not today. It still will show up as a Monday trade or maybe Tuesday based on the time frame difference, but you know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Tether dominance. That should be wanting to collapse after what we saw. People would say, why would I want to be in Tether so hard? Right? If Bitcoin's going to collapse, you know, and look, there's that right shoulder that we really wanted to see. I said, we don't want to see this make a flag. I said, we want to see this make a right shoulder and dump. Now it's retesting the top of the channel. Not so fast, though. Let's connect these two up here like so. Yes, like get rejected. Make this descending triangle. I gave you like flat. I mean, just descend this puppy. So I'll leave that flag there just in case, because that's, you know, the bearish scenario. But we drew that right shoulder. We said we need to see this right shoulder. We collapse below this 200. We come on down, and then we just stay in the doldrums here. Right? And we get ourselves a rally. Hopefully it would fall out again in December, but so it's interesting. If that went sideways, that would say there's like a super cycle coming somewhere. But fat is healthy fat, necessary for the growth of your cells. They bathe in fat, nuts, avocado, butter, olive oil, coconut milk. Love it. I know. Yes. No, because cholesterol and your whole brain is made up of cholesterol. And like the main chemical that gives your brain energy is from cholesterol, derived from cholesterol. It just means that the ETH, please, the Kurt. Thank you. Let's take a look at ETH. Oh, we did. I think we did look at ETH, but maybe it was last night and it's so fresh in my mind. Let's take a look at Ethereum. So I like Ethereum on the weekly time frame. I really wouldn't look at it on any other time frame. I think you're going to get confused by it on any other time frame. They're going to swing it, swung it around, but I like it here. And I like ETH with a stop loss below these wicks. You know, really below 3,400 with a target at 7,000. And I like this trade for Ethereum. And again, caution when we get to the double top at 47.83, but so far, so good. BOOKMAP still looks absolutely beautiful. It says somewhere by tonight into tomorrow. It basically says by Wednesday. How could you not crush into 175? And then once you do that, it's starting to call for 122 to 122. And that's the target I have is 121.8. Remember? 121,800. So everything kind of setting up pretty nicely. Some more super chats coming in. We have KOBAN, USDT, Zen, and Ethereum. I like Ethereum on the weekly. I think it's poised for a pump. I really do. And then I even looked there. Oh, yeah. See, I'd stay away from it on the smaller time frames. I'd stay away from it on the smaller time frames for sure. I wouldn't, you know. Might even stretch down, up and down. It's just no, but I'd watch it on the weekly, and I like the weekly. I like the weekly for Ethereum. I do. And the most money is made on the biggest time frames. So many lies going up, trying to make us dumb so we wouldn't end up here at the lifer. 100%. They did everything they can to stop you from coming to the stream, to teach you that money was that you weren't good with money, that you should never invest, you should become a worker bee. Let the investing to the rich men that wear suits and ties. We wear, you know, we're janitors and cleaners, and I worked a night shift. You know what I mean? They wanted us to be off in the distance. They want us to be train workers, and, you know. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with hard work, personally, and I think that's a great life, too. Just because I wanted to become an investor, change my life through trading, doesn't mean I'm put down hard work, man. It's another thing. People think because you get into playing with money that you think hard work isn't important anymore, but I disagree. You know, it's quite the opposite. That's why I live stream every day, to earn that respect of the hard-working man, because it's not easy. Nobody's life is easy. You know, Dan Pena says it's hard being poor, it's hard being rich. I'd rather have a rich life. It's hard either way. You wake up every day not knowing whether you're going to die or not. I don't know. You know, I mean, we hope to gosh that we all go to sleep tonight. There's no guarantees that we're all going to make it to bed tonight. Well, my mom, the day my mom died, she thought she was going to go to bed that night. Of course she did. She was with her family at Thanksgiving. She didn't think she was going to have her life taken from her that day. She had no clue. You know, and it always resonates me when I think, man, my mom driving down. My mom forgot the salt that day and went back home. It shatters my heart when I think about it. My cousin said, oh, I'll go with you. And they drove back to her house. She got the salt, came back. Her house was like a 10, 15-minute drive away. Then she probably looked for the salt. So that means for 45 minutes, she could have had the stroke at the house. And then we all would have been like, where is she? And then we would have had to run back. And then that would have been insane. She would have been alone screaming. I would have thought I couldn't have helped her. Thank the Lord she had it in front of me so I could do everything I could. And when someone dies and you're not there forever, you always wonder what you could have done. My mom died on Thanksgiving while she was talking to me. And Thanksgiving, just in a couple weeks, it kind of resonates there. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't bring it up so much on the stream, but it comes up because it's just part of my life. Anyway, it makes me realize that every single moment is a blessing. That every day we have is a day that we have to cherish. I don't care if I got, I made good money this weekend. Everything went my way, but I give it all back to get my mom. And my wife says, you'll see your mother. This life is short. She's there. All will be well. This is just the beginning. Have faith, in the everlasting life. Have faith in the next realm. And I'll see my mom again, man. I'll see my mom again. Open 100 short orders on Bitcoin just now for 200K. Your turn, Sammy. You open up a short on Bitcoin? I'm all set. Yeah, I don't like to short BTC when it's in an uptrend above the 200 moving average. Usually not the best probability, right? Anyway, let's continue on. We were dancing to this song this weekend, or was it Friday? I was wilding out to this track. I was excited, man. We had got that bottom. Things started to pump. Things were going our way. Let's take a look at KOBAN USDT. Or KOBAN USD on Kraken. I mean, this looks like a rugger, right? That looks like a rug to me. I don't know. I'm all set. I'd rather not look at this anymore. Thank you so much. I'll research it on my own time, but that looks, I don't know. I'm happy I'm not in that, I'll be honest. Very happy, actually. Zen tends to pump. I've seen it pump with Zcash. For whatever reason, not, indirectly, but I've seen them kind of go together. You can see it doing it now, too, a little bit. A little bit behind. And now look at Zen in a flag. I'd look for Zen to flag out and continue to pump. I think you're spot on here with Zen. I mean, look, it had this double bottom. That's actually a measured move, too, as well, out the neckline. So you got a bigger target. Back to resistance. You're spot on here with Zen, and this thing's been on a tear since September. Look at it. It's up from 6. See, a lot of altcoins are up, man, and people aren't paying attention. They think there's no alt season, but if you got in at September 28th, you're at 6 to 14. Not every coin is down. You got to pay attention and look. And there's many alt seasons all around. There's opportunity all around. Zcash up huge. Someone only traded Zcash. They're up huge this month. Their cryptocurrency is changing a select fewer people's life who are in the right coins. And if you have conviction in the long term, I like this. This is getting an alert. You've got to use alerts. Alerts are important. Shout out to everyone that jumped into class this weekend. God bless you. And you should get that PowerPoint today. I'll make sure of it. A lot of festivities this weekend with the So we looked at KOBAN, we looked at Zen, we looked at Ethereum. Yeah, exactly. He says Zen has 21 million. Exactly. Zen has that connection to Zcash. It might even be a fork of Zcash, if I remember correctly. But just like Bitcoin, 21 million Zen. Circulating supply, 17. It has a lot of the supply, right? So Zen and Bitcoin. You see? So Zen and Zcash, they are likely to pump close together. It's funny, I noticed, I just had a photographic memory of Zen and Zcash pumping together. Zen isn't as prevalent. It's only on a few exchanges for some reason. You can't find it on the MEXCs and the Weekses. Zcash is everywhere, right? So we got alerts on a few coins today that are important to watch. And again, I remind you, if you're not able to watch the stream today, look, we're going to still give you these alerts on Zen and MAVIA. So whatever we find, people give us super chats that we find that move. I just want to have fun here with everybody. XCN. That's been the most boring coin. I still own it, but it's so boring. So boring. And honestly, it's been trash to hold. Like, I got to be honest. Like, back to its low again. Like, looks like it's in an Adam and Eve now. But it's back to the low of April of 2025. I mean, back to where it was in April. Like, it might round trip. I don't know, you know. We'll see. It's got to do a 5X and change people's lives more. Yeah, Zen's on weeks in Mexi. Oh, it is. Zen is on weeks in Mexi. Thank you for saying that. I don't know why on Coinbase it looks like it didn't come up. Thank you for saying that. So Zen is on weeks in Coinbase. Yeah, it's like you did your analysis on it, brother. Schmatting up over there. Pay attention. Zen's looking interesting. It's above the 200. 21's touching. Look at it's in a flag on the 1 hour time frame. That thing looks like it could be 18 faster than fast. Did you ever get back in ASTER? No, I did not. No, it just felt too risky for me. Look at that shoulder there. I guess it would be a good DCA, personally. But, yeah, it doesn't have the pop of the volume yet. They kind of killed the wave, right? They had everyone believing it was hot. Then they broke trust. You know, they didn't break trust, but, you know, when the retail saw up and down, now they're like, you know. You can shill, you can't over-shill. You know what I mean? Over-shilling isn't always the best. It creates weakness. It creates lack of trust. People are like, well, why do you have to over-shill if it's so great? You know what I mean? Like, you just got to use products that work, man. Like, what I do as a business is I just use products that work. Other people shill so hard, they wonder why they can't convert. I just use products that work. Like, I like BitTonex's scalping features. It's fast and efficient. I use it. Boom, right? Other people will find the same. They'll trust that and they'll like it, right? I use Weeks because the swing trading's good and I can contact customer service. I use MEXC because it has lack of fees. And I've been using it for years, right? KKix was a new exchange I just wanted to try out because it had low fees just to see how it worked out against MEXC, and so far it's been fine. And BTC has access to other coins, right? On top of just stock assets instead of just coins. So so everything I use has a reason for using it. You know, it's kind of the trifecta. There's always something that I'm like, okay. 8 is, how do you know where to place the fib extension? I mean, it's all about, that's not a fib extension, that's fib retracement. Fib extension is 1, 2, 3. And you don't even need fib extension personally because measured moves cover where you're going. You know, I hit my measured moves all the time. I've never used fib extensions, but you do whatever makes you happy. Like, that's a bull flag that could definitely break out to 118.8. Now, what if that happens today? We just start pumping. There's a chance. We got to get above that 200 moving average first, though. Can you take a look at ONDO? I did. You know, ONDO, it's kind of boring to look at. I have to be honest. Like, I spent a lot of time on it last night, and I'm like, oh, now I got to look at it again. About to maybe move out of ONDO. Like, it's been a lackluster position to hold. Like, had I moved my ONDO into Zcash, it would have paid off way better. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at ONDO, and I have to be honest, it's supposed to be bullish. It's supposed to be amazing, but, like, that's a descending triangle. So, I don't know. It's supposed to be the hottest thing since sliced bread. Real-world assets. Been very boring to hold. You could say it's going to, in that higher low, it's eventually going to pump. I got faith that it's eventually going to do damage off of what it does, but, man, they're definitely making it hard to hold over time. And to me now, it's like double bottoming. So you have to believe that wick takes it up, and, I mean, it's going to pump with Bitcoin when we get a reversal. You got to believe this whole market's going to reverse at this point. Otherwise, like, what? Really no reason to hold any altcoins at all. So if you don't believe we're reversing, like, you know, in the back, somewhere, somehow, where we have to get a pump. Litecoin's just sitting there at the bottom of the channel. Very similar to Solana and other bigger coins, and I see it bouncing. And yes, I do see it going to 214, but I don't know if it's going to recapture 400 and all that jazz. But yeah, I see it consolidating and eventually pumping. Only a matter of time. I don't see why Litecoin can't do it, and it is bouncing pretty nicely. Blessings on blessings. Any chance you could look at HBAR? We'll take a look at HBAR for you. Thank you so much. And send in your super chats for TA and deep dive if you want me to go over a coin, talk about it. So, look, I like HBAR if it had bounced inside that accumulation zone, right? Never got in there, though. Fell right out the pattern. So, let's take a look. HBAR was hot as far as the whole market was hot until they drained it. But yeah, same idea here is we're going to have alt season. Bitcoin's going to bounce and we're going to recover. Like either that's on your docket or it's not. If it's not on your docket, we're losing this level and we're dumping. And again, I know we have to be open-minded. Anything is possible, right? And I get that. But in the back of my mind, I got to believe there's alt season coming some way, somehow, or what the heck are we doing? So I believe it's going to come, but even this says it's not coming till April. You see this? And then you're going to pump April, May, and August. It's just weird. Every time I do this, it says we're not going to get it when we believe. Someone asked about Disco on Ethereum. By Matt Fury, huh? I mean, it's got a $1 million market cap. But yeah, it came back down to a Fibonacci retracement. It's in between that 618 and the 786. Again, you can't guarantee a bounce here ever, but if you were to buy 100 assets here, like 70 to 80 of them are probably going to bounce from that level. So it's about doing something consistently, not about doing it once. This is definitely a consistent area for reversal, but again, and it's a very small market cap. It's very high risk. I probably would leave it alone. But you do whatever makes you happy. But you are spot on with what you said there. And you said the 4-hour 200 moving average. So I can add MA here. And then what you go here is to settings. Turn it to yellow because you know how it does. And turn this to a 200 because you know how it do. And slap the 4-hour. And yeah, it is above the 4-hour 200, but it is also testing it. But yeah, I mean, discounts near the 4-hour and you're in this Fibonacci 618. You could be onto something for sure. I mean, you're not chasing. That's high probability entry spot, right? Sam, can you check TLM from Ahmed? Yeah, we're on a roll right now. Can we look at Zcash, please? I'm in it. We have looked at it already multiple times. We'll look at it again for you. Why not? Why not? Let's take a look at TLM and see what's happening to TLM Alien Worlds, if I'm correct, right? Something like Alien Worlds, Trillium. Yeah, I got a memory. Remember when this first came out, I really liked it, but it just didn't, you know. I mean, this thing just took a dump. It's at the lowest it's ever been in its life. Some think it's going to make a massive bounce, right? Like this has to be the low, perfect entry. It's so low you can make a, you know, I guess what people want to do is they like, well, it's so low that when it bounces, I can make, they want to be so high risk. See, I'd rather just trade with like what is more likely to make like a 10%, 30% move. Like bit tensors, you know what I mean? I'd rather trade something with a good team and big volume and just ride. To be honest, I'm going through the most difficult time of my life, even though I'm more sober and clear-minded than I've ever been. My own family, it continues to do me wrong, so please pray for me. Hey, God bless you. You know what happens when you finally get clean? It gets really tough. That's where usually, because that's the devil wanting to push you back into the sauce. So remember, just fight through it. Take a deep breath and let it go. Remember, you're in control at all times. No matter what they say to you, they can't make you lift a fist and they can't make you cry yourself to sleep, right? No matter what they say to you. If they're putting you down, that means they're in a worse place than you. If someone's putting you down, they're in a worse place than you. If someone doesn't understand you, if they're negative to you, they're in a worse place than you. Look at me. I come off my YouTube channel. Sometimes I get a $500 super chat. I've won my $2,000 trade or $5,000 trade, right? And I go out, let's say, to do my dry cleaning, and someone cuts me off. What are the odds that person was on a YouTube channel getting super chats that morning? What are the odds? They're very low, right? So I have to say, dear Lord, thank you for the grace you've given me. Thank you for this beautiful life. Let me let that person pass. 90% of people on the road did not make as much money as I did today. You know, I have to be honest. I'm just being, you know, I'm not trying to be 95 maybe. So you take a deep breath and you say, man. And so there's no reason to get angry. There's no reason to get upset. We stay in control at all times. You see what I mean? We stay in control at all times. Don't let someone who's emotionally depraved, not living perfectly, drag you into their negative space. You flip them off. Next thing you know, something could happen. Road rage is serious, man. People get caught up a lot in their cars. I don't know why. Because you know what? This is why. People don't have control of their emotions. It's very similar to trading. You're trading time and space in your car. Someone might cut you off and you think they're taking your time away. Someone might take some space that you think is yours, right? And people get upset and they start getting, you know what I mean? People get emotional when they drive. I find it insane. I grumble a little bit. I'm like, because I like to move. But at the most part, I want nothing to do. I don't want to interact with anyone else on the road. It's only going to pull you down. It's a negative experience, right? Yeah, Bybit has Zcash. Yeah. No, we went over that. I was wrong. Yeah, I was about to say. Or no. Which popular exchange holds Zcash? Everyone holds Zcash. I think it's on Coinbase, Binance, MEXC, you name it. It's everywhere. Weeks. Do you believe in Tom Lee's prediction? I just go by the charts, man, one day at a time. Tom Lee said some things that didn't happen before. All right. He's also said some things that have happened before. Does that mean he's going to say what happens? No. All right. What if they flip you the bird? If they flip you the bird, they're in a bad space. Pray to God for them. Say, dear Lord, pray for that person. Someone flipped me the bird recently, actually. They did. It was like a woman, I think. I don't know why. It was like I was waiting to get, it was like a 4-way stop, so I don't know. And I told her to go. She didn't go. I was like, what are you doing? Then I was like, okay, how long do you want me to wait? I didn't say that. I just was like, then she ripped off and stuck her finger out and flipped me the bird. Like, and I said, wow. In a state too, in a concealed carry state, well, actually, in an open carry state, I wouldn't flip off anybody. You might just get the wrong, oh my gosh, be careful, right? So, very funny, stated up bit by Jim Carrey and Road Range on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Are you bearish blockchain backer? Blockchain backer, I love that guy, but he's made some of the work. God bless him, actually. You know, he's a good guy, nice guy. His TA is very questionable. I've been on shows with him. I've never, he sells half his position. He was selling all his positions. He panic sold, man. Like, whatever. God bless him, man. Whatever. I don't want to start any, you know what I mean? These people take days off. They go off for a week or something. I don't know what they do, but they take time off. Then they come back paranoid and they don't know what's happening. I can't talk, you know. Yeah. God bless him, man. Seems like a super nice guy. I don't agree with the technical analysis at all. No. I don't agree with probably 99% of people's TA here. Sam the man, thank you, brother. That means the world. Blessings on blessings, positive energy. Thank you. It feels amazing to be heard. Always pushing positive energy. God bless you, man. Baze, Brett, DJ Arrow, we love you, man. We love you. Shout out to Felix. Yo, Sam, what's good, brother? Tuning in for the west coast of the UK. Wind and rain is constant, but making the most of it. Hey, come to Florida, man. Today was actually a cloudy day today, but it probably got sunny by now. Yep, no, it was cloudy when I started the stream, but it's a beautiful sunny day now. I can see the blue sky. It's almost always sunny here. We have like 300 days of sun in Sarasota. If a coin pumps 100%, you miss the move. Don't ever FOMO. Buy the coin of the boring phase when it's asleep for years. Still many opportunities, 100%. Yeah, he's spot on with that. He's spot on with that idea. Let's jump into crypto rank. I want to see what's hot and what's not right now. Funny, I wonder if some people would pay to be on this. Because, like, is Linnea really at the top every single time? Chain Hopper, though, we talked about that thing. That one thing, I gave it a $3.50. It went all the way to $20. Meteora has been coming up a lot. They had an airdrop recently. Aster still in the running. Plasma still looking. Astronova. I'd write that down. Very small market cap. Remember, if Bitcoin reverses now, this is going to be a really good time for new coins to come out because they'll have no resistance. They'll pump hard. Advantis up 39% in a week. Aptos, Enso, Yield Basis. YB is starting to make some moves. A priori, APR, Orochi Network, Momentum, Apro, Plasma, Tempo. And I would take some time looking at this stuff. Vanguard, VWA, look, these are small market cap coins. They can go from 3 to 30. That's a 10x. We're going to pay attention. If you're in the trading group, we're going to be spitting out the token metrics coins too. Throughout the day, they're in the group. It rains here on Sunday. Florida is the best weather if you could stand the summer heat. And I leave for the summer for 2.5 months. I'm gone during the hottest time of the year, so I go to where the weather is the nicest. I chase the nicest weather, this 78 to 85 degree weather with no rain. I chase it all year round, baby. Running to Chipotle, anyone want anything? Yeah, can I get that new? Are they still running that? MAIAX just crossed. Ooh. Let's take a look at what's happening to MAIAX. And you can see Bitcoin's been flat the whole stream. I said don't trade. It went from 14.8 to 15,000. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. I missed nothing. Look at MAIAX. It just completely collapsed again. Imagine how many people bought the top and had to get beat down because you can't be chasing this stuff. I actually made money on the one Chinese coin, went long for a while, then sold, then went short. Hey, good for you, man. And that's if you learn how to trade, you could take advantage of any move. That's the beautiful thing. Baling. Was that KKEX? Yeah, so my KSEX trade. So now I'm not in a trade. The only trade I'm in is Palantir right now. And I'm going to hold this thing all the way till I make $3,000 on it. Like at 278. I'm holding this thing. It's going to take, I think, a couple weeks. November 15th, we're going to check back on Palantir, and hopefully I'm in the gains. You know, let's take a look at IREN. This thing just never stopped. I met the team. They give me a hat and a shirt. I stare at it all the time, and then I never get in. And this thing has just been on an absolute tear. Let me show you IREN right now on the 3-day chart. It dips a little bit to 6, and then it does a 10x. It does a 10x, everyone. It does a 10x since May on an absolute tear. And now, like, it's interesting, like, even as big as it got on the bigger time frame, look at this. I know it seems crazy, but, like, I would start to flag out the 3-day chart. And, like, this thing has the vibes of going parabolic. And it's like AI infrastructure and mining. Like, this thing could do some serious... I don't know if it's over yet. Seriously, I know people don't believe me, but this thing could continue. The way that 21's looping in, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to keep alerts on this. I may trade IREN on Webull. I'm going to get my Webull. I'm going to get into my Webull account today. And then I'm going to, I want to look at Mara too. I'm going to start attacking the stock market with my knowledge while we still can. Mara back at 19 strong, and I'm looking for it to break out strong. I'm going to be getting out somewhere. We got in at $8. There will be a 4X. It'll take 2 years, but I'll take a 4X in 2 years. It'd be a long-term capital gain. And then, you know, 39 would be epic. 39 would be epic. So we'll see. But I've been in Mara since down here, somewhere in $8, $8.40. Mara, baby, Mara. And yeah, just still sitting on unrealized gains there. Have not sold it. Never sold. Shout out to anyone if you looked at if you know that I basically sell a bot. If you do buy the bot, I get a commission. All right. Here's the link to the bot if you want to find out more or sign up to it. And there's all different types of bot trading out there. I understand. I only know one. It's the one I've been using. Let's go over all the results for the bot like recently. Like, this thing is just amazing. I love it. It's been awesome. I'm going to take you through the bot since September 15th. So about a month of a bot trading. It's been unbelievable. I'm also going to, I can show you some stuff too. So look, it entered here and then exited there. So it got in, it got out. So the first thing it did is it entered long right there, as you can see, at 115. And then it sold 117.7. And somehow it knew that was the top, right? It's crazy, right? Look, that was the descending triangle that I called in the dump. And this bot doesn't short, but what it does is it buys big as you dump. It makes more money. It likes to buy the dumps. So then it puts a $3,000 order, then a $15,000 order, then a $22,500 order. And then it sells all three of them. Or sorry, two 30s and a 15. And then it sells, look. No, I think it is, yeah. It sells this one. It sells that one. It sells them all right there at the top. At that pump on 117, and it gets out. Then it gets in again at 117, and it sells right there at 120. Then it gets in right there at 120, and these are the flags with the 21 touching. It even trades where I trade, and it sells when you're away from the 21. It does exactly what I do. Me and the bot trade identical. That means I'm bot trading. But it gets in here at 120 and it sells at the high at 123.6. Then it gets back in again at 122 and it sells the exact top basically right before the wick at 125. I mean, insane. 124.960. Then it gets in again at 123 and it sells the top again exactly. It sells the exact top. Like that's the exact top it sells. At 125.9, I think it went to 126.1 or something. Then it starts to buy. Then it gets itself underwater on purpose. Right? Extremely. Then it buys the exact bottom. Then it buys the exact bottom again at the dump. Now it's in so heavy. Like this is like a person that's like, this is like a person who's just in so deep cross leverage. It does trade cross. And then there it is, selling every single position in profit. And now it's not in a trade right now. It's looking for its next trade. So even the bot is not in a trade right now for the first time in a while. It's just waiting on its next entry. It's waiting out to see what's happening. And I even give my trading group when the bot buys, I say, hey, the bot just bought. So for $99 a month, you're getting so much information in that Discord, it'll blow your mind. You're going to be with serious traders that want to win, not around regular people that just want to be regular, right? Greetings, comrade. You make me not want to. Oh, man. God bless you, bro. You change your name, man, from Jong Yoon to Liswa, bro. You got to change your name back. No one knows what you're saying now. And people might not know if it's a joke, bro. Can you check Theta? It looks horrible. Lower now than the last bear market. Yeah, I mean, it's a forgotten coin. They also had streaming on their platform and they took it away. Like they did a lot of things to damage their product. You know, their product could have been big. I would have been streaming, talking about it, incentives, product. They actually had a beautiful thing. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Really strange. It was a great project, great product, but yeah, no more. Hey, Sam, is there a minimum fee to start the bot? I mean, it is expensive. Joined the group last night. So much free game you gave me. I finally pulled the trigger. Thank you for saying that. A lot of people said they made a lot of money on the live stream, and that makes them want to join the trading group. Yeah. Getting underwater on purpose is wild. Oh yeah, that bot gets super underwater. It's its favorite thing is to get dumb underwater, like because it doesn't need to get. It only needs a little pump to get out. Then it doesn't need to get back to where it got in. You know what I mean? And that's how that thing never loses. It just never. It's insane. It's insane. I put out the results recently on Twitter, man, and it's been mind-boggling, honestly. Like, here's just a post that I had recently. And there it is. I mean, 53 wins, 3 losses. 3 losses, I had to take the bot down, right? Look, those are those scalps I was showing you. The 123, they make $500 each scalp. Bang, 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 bang. And then I reinvest the money the bot makes back into BTC. It's insane.
My name's Sam Price. Nice to meet you.
The bot's even up. This is 150. This was 2 days ago. The bot's now at 165. It made 15 grand since then. It made 15 grand since I put this video out. And when did I put this video out? I put this video out on the 24th. In 3 days, the thing made 15,000. It took the account up higher. Anyway, you do whatever makes you happy. The bot's amazing. I do get a commission from it. It's awesome. I love it. I never thought I'd have a bot just whipping it up. It's awesome. Virtual crossing the vertical line. I like it. See, I just want to see this thing flag out. We want to see Bitcoin getting back above the 200 moving average, right, on the 1 minute. We know exactly what to do. We're going to be watching the price action for you. Stay in the group. Stay focused. I'm going to keep you guys involved throughout the day. Shout out to everybody here. Thank you so much for an amazing show. Unbelievable action here on this Monday. We learned a lot. We didn't have to live trade. See, there's no live trade today. Sometimes I'm live trading. Some days we're just ripping through super chats, getting ourselves ready. Tonight is the night. Monday night is the night, man. I get myself really ready for Monday night and get excited. It's been fun to trade at night. Asian market has been very active recently, which has made it fun. We've had our New York pumps in the morning and our Asian markets. Palantir doing good. Remember, we're doing the bonuses and this is awesome. Getting back a lot for what you trade. If you trade on BTCC, hit the link to find out more. We got our Palantir trade up 58%, down a little bit compared to 86. But I'm going to hold that puppy for a while. See if we can make a couple grand there, 3 grand. Hey, anything extra is better than nothing. Don't get greedy. That's how I always say. Look for virtuals to make a flag and continue to pump. Watch the alerts. Look for Bitcoin to do some damage here too. It's not over just yet. I'll be reassessing Bitcoin, going over it, and keeping you guys up to date throughout the day. 14,008 to 15K was the move throughout the morning. We really didn't get any price action. You could have shorted and longed a $200 move, but we like a couple $1,000 move for Bitcoin. We like to get the liquidity, baby. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here and sharing your most precious asset, which is your time. Thank you so much for jumping on and becoming a crypto lifer. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll be back tomorrow for another amazing, awesome live stream. Remember, I believe in God. I use God, but I don't push God on anyone else. It's great if you believe, but I don't think it's not how it's supposed to, a loving person that spreads love in the world never pushes anything on anybody, right? So I just want to let you know I love you. I care about you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you live in love, if you push yourself, if you care about your fellow neighbor, you're a lifer. God bless you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Remember, I studied the billionaires and the millionaires of this world, people that made something of themselves. And I found out they all had a secret to success that they shared with me. And you know what it was? They didn't have to say it too. They all did it. They all had a secret to success. The secret to success. You know what it is? The secret to success is getting started. God bless. Thank you.